Hey Visibility Hacker, today we're talking about community engagement for your courses, your programs, and your groups online. Hey, I'm Coach Molly from the Visibility Hacking team, and we help small businesses grow their visibility online with courses and programs, podcasts, live shows, and so much more. And today we're going to use that expertise of ours and harness it to give you the ability to build your communities, to build your followings, and to build your movements of people. Because we don't just run businesses, right? If we're trying to put our heart and our soul into our businesses, if we're connecting our business actions to our passions, and we're trying to live that saying that if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. If that is what you are trying to build in your business and your movement, then we need to think differently about the way that we engage with our customers, our followings, our people. And so today we're going to talk about community engagement specifically. Your movement is so much more than just you. And that is such a welcoming opportunity. So today we're talking about building your communities and engaging with your people. We're going to start off by talking about why it matters to each individual member. Then we'll talk about how it'll make you wildly successful. And at the end of the video, we're going to talk about the challenges that can generally disrail community engagement opportunities. So for this and more, stay tuned. Community engagement processes allow us to have conversations and deeper connections with the people within that group, within that community. So say, for example, you have a Facebook group. This is the example we'll use throughout today's videos because I love Facebook groups. Let me just put that out there. So when you have your community of people gathering together in the same place, sharing a similar interest, passion, or purpose, well, that is what you need to nurture and engage. Those are your potential customers. That is the group that you should be curating. So when you implement engagement practices that ask them questions, ask for their feedback, ask for their input, you're actually generating the conversation. And psychologically, what's happening is that our people feel more engaged. They feel part of the group. And when you feel part of the group, you are significantly less likely to want to turn your back on them and walk away. That deepens your connection, deepens your connection, deepens your connection. Finding those opportunities, those questions that are going to speak to your ideal customers, make them feel heard. So you need to make sure that you understand what are the pain points, the obstacles, the struggles that they are facing that you and your programs and solutions can help them solve and overcome. That's the type of content you're going to be creating. You're not just going to be asking the same generic questions that everyone else is plastering into 5 and 6 and 7 groups at a time every single day. Those are overwhelming. That is social media noise. Instead, I want you to be intentional about the content that you create. When we are intentional about our content, we start to build our connection machines. So instead, what I want you to do is deeply understand who your customer is and the problems that they are facing, and then create pieces of connection that show them, that either hold up a mirror and reflect back to them what they're already feeling, the voice in their head. Or maybe you're helping them by showing them a solution to a problem that they're currently facing. Whatever it is, we want them to feel heard, we want them to feel known. And we do this by engaging with them. That type of community engagement is what leads to conversions when it comes to sales. Very simple. Another super simple thing that you guys can do to boost your visibility is to hit the subscribe button and become a visibility hacker here on our YouTube channel. We can do all the market research in the world before we end up actually knowing our customer. We can have a ton of information. We can have a general idea about the target market we're going after, but it's not until we actually engage in conversation with our community members do we actually deeply begin to understand who they are. So first level, do your market research, get a general idea of who your customer is, where they might be, what they might be looking at, who they might admire or be influenced by. And then what I want you to do is get to know those customers. Go in and listen to what problems they're talking about. Listen, get to know who they are. And then you'll be able to understand your customer a little bit more because you can start to ask them questions. You can start to get specific about it. You can start to share your ideas for solutions and get feedback from that. Once we have that connection to our people and to our communities, it's like pouring jet fuel on a bonfire at that point. But it's only until we have the basic understanding of who they are from our market research, and then we go out and actually find them and listen to them like we just talked about, and then, only then will we be able to actually engage in conversation for the deepest level of understanding with our people. When you understand your customers' needs, that's when you can start providing great solutions for them. And just like I want to provide great solutions for you guys and your small businesses, let me know down in the comments, what obstacles are you facing building your brand's visibility? Let me know down in the comments, and I promise I will provide for you a custom video just answering your question. How's that? I think that sounds like a very simple ask. Any effort of good community engagement can be easily disrailed if you're looking at it in the wrong way, if you're approaching it in the wrong way, or unfortunately, if you take a misstep. Your actions can have great repercussions in your community. So let's talk about the 3 challenges that can disrail any good community engagement effort. First, not having a unified culture is an easy way to disrail your community engagement. You need to have a unified identity between all of the members of your community. This is why I'm always calling you guys visibility hackers, because that is our unifying name. That is the identity that we all share here, because we're all going about building our small business's visibility in a way that is radically different than what we've been taught in the mainstream before. And so that is our unifying call. So think about what your unifying cultural call is, and that will help give your people an identity that they can hold on to, that they can belong to, a flag that they can fly. So when it comes to having people throw rocks at them or throw rocks at our system, then we know that we have people who are strong enough, who stand behind that identity, who will stop those stones and pick them up and throw them back at the enemies collectively. Second is power dynamics. We want to make sure that we have no visible power structure, that we're all in it together. There is an invisible power structure that you can build out, I guess, which would be where you are positioned as the expert and everyone else is there to gather your knowledge. But I find that is the least productive way of building your community and thinking about power dynamics. Instead, I want to shift your idea and I want you to look at building a round power dynamic. I'm going to give you a great example, exactly the way that I learned it. So I used to work in summer camps for many, many years, and I love this example. So in a summer camp, you would generally have a hierarchy of power, where you have the volunteers at the very bottom, then your general counselors, and then your supervisors, and then your directors, and then the big coordinators at the top, and then it can continually go on until the very top of the organizational structure. But that's the camp situation, and then the camper is clearly at the bottom because we get to tell the campers what to do. But we were invited to create this hierarchy. And the activity goes on and everyone's trying to put this hierarchy together. But it never looked right. And instead, we were invited to shift our thinking and instead of thinking of this power dynamic as over someone else, power over others, instead we started putting all of our titles in a circle with our camper in the center. Just like you would put your people in the center. They have the ability to stand in the center of the circle if they need help, if they're asking genuinely for help and assistance, if they're looking for solutions, but they also have a space on the outside of that circle to be able to be part of the community helping solve. What that looks like in your groups is when people are actually talking to each other. Instead of having a group that needs to be approved and all of that for comments and reflections, instead they are asking each other questions, they are commenting on each other, they are providing solutions, and they're reflecting back on the solutions that you've already shared with the community. That is where your power dynamic should sit. Going off of that is the third challenge, and that is the lack of incentive. So what I want you to do is look for your incentives to actually get your people to post and comment. Are you engaging with them? Do you shout their stuff out? Do you follow their content on their profiles and like and engage and whatnot, grabbing your attention in their feeds? What are you doing that is incentivizing the engagement that is happening on your profile? Because I promise you, just liking a post or just allowing it to be in the space of your group is not enough. That is a huge challenge to any community engagement process. So those are pretty simple, I have to say. And what I want you to do now is to join us in the visibility hacking group, because that is a fantastic community that you should be part of. And it's very simple to join. You just have to head over to visibilityhacking.com. There's a link on the top of that page that says become a visibility hacker. Click that link. It'll bring you over to our private Facebook group, and I will see you when you get there. Until I see you then, we'll see you Fridays for Friday Night Live, Mondays for the live show, and so many more great pieces of live content coming your way to help you and your small business grow your visibility, grow your influence, and ultimately start making more money online. Oh, I love it. Okay, guys, I will see you in the Visibility Hacking group, visibilityhacking.com. See you there. Until I do, remember, I love you, be excellent to each other, and just go live. People are out there waiting for you.